We are just a few days away from Christmas and less than 2 weeks away from the new year. This is often the time of the year that people are thinking about what their New Year's resolutions or their goals for the new year look like. My goal today is to help you identify what your goals for the new year look like, what intentions you would like to set. But there's something that needs to be done prior to you addressing or identifying what your goals are. And it's something that I have to bring up with my clients all the time in coaching. Welcome. I'm Tracy Hensel. I'm a certified professional coach and owner of Hensel Coaching and Consulting. Me and my team of coaches help people just like you figure out what your goals are, find what your blind spots are, and help you to get from point A to point B, whatever that looks like for you. You can learn more about me on my personal brand website, and you can learn more about the team on the Hensel Coaching and Consulting website. Both of those will be linked in the description box below this video. Now, not everyone sets New Year's resolutions or new goals for the new year, and that's perfectly fine. It's a decision that one needs to make. There's also many people that are not into self-development or self-improvement, and that's perfectly fine as well. I will share with you, however, that what I have witnessed and observed is those that are not into self-improvement also are not aware of some of their poor habits, poor choices, or how they are showing up in this world. They also are not executing and delivering in many areas of their life because self-improvement is not something that they think about. Often, their loved ones or the people that they surround or the people that surround them are at the mercy of their lack of self-improvement. Because they're not paying attention to how they're showing up in this world, all of their bad habits, we sometimes are at the mercy of that. So for me, self-improvement is something that I am always implementing in my life because it makes me more observant and aware of what I am doing, what habits are serving me or what habits are not serving me. How am I showing up with others? Am I satisfied with that? If I'm not practicing self-awareness and being observant, I would never know. But today's video is not about whether self-improvement is for you or is not for you, or goal setting is something that would serve you. You will have to figure that out on your own. What I'm here today to share with you is the missing link that I often see with my clients when working on goal setting. During the month of December, we're hitting heavy preparing for that new year. But one of the things that my clients neglect to pay attention to is actually how much capacity they have. So when they start shooting out all the goals that they would like to achieve next year and all the areas they would like to work on, I always ask them, what price are you willing to pay for that? Because it sounds to me like a lot of the goals that you would like to achieve require something pretty hefty, often your time. Sometimes it's money. It could be many things, but time is typically a very big one. You see, a lot of goals require our time, and a lot of us don't have extra time. So the exercise that I would like you to do sometime between now and the new year to prepare for your New Year's resolutions or your New Year's goals is to think about what your active roles are. Now, I don't want to say, who are you? Who are you in this world? Because you are you. You are self. What you need to address is what your active roles are. And I'll give you an example. My active roles are self, I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm a grandmother, I'm a business owner, I'm a coach. For you, it could be different. Everyone's active roles are going to be different. Now, while I'm a daughter, I'm a sister, I'm a daughter-in-law, I have many roles. Not all of my roles are active roles. So I want you to pull up that document or grab that piece of paper, and I want you to write down today what active roles you play. This could be caretaker. If you are taking care of elderly parents, that would be an active role. Maybe you're a step parent and you're very active in that. That would be an active role. I only want you to write down or type in your document your active roles, not your inactive. And that doesn't mean that there's no requirements from you to be, let's say, a daughter or a daughter-in-law. Maybe you're a board member. It all depends on how active you are. But I want you to brain dump and get it out of your head what all your active roles are. And I really want you to take a good look at that, because believe it or not, when you take a look at it, you're going to say, wow, that's a lot. When I look at self, that means I have an active role in myself. I have an active role in being a wife, active role in being a mother, a grandmother, a business owner, a coach. Well, all of those active roles require time. And I'm already pretty filled up with my time. So while I'm huge at goal setting and self-improvement, I always have to recognize each year when I'm assessing what my goals look like for the new year, at what expense, what price do I have to pay to get to these goals. So after you write down all of your active roles, I want you to make a list of all the goals that you would like to meet in the year 2022. And I want you to look at what is required to achieve that goal. Is it time? Is it money? Is it something else? Because if you are already filled to capacity with your time and your new goals require time, I'd love to know how you're going to get there. And often this is what comes up in coaching. My clients have all these big, hairy, audacious goals, but they don't have the time to achieve all of them. Now, it's different if you are trying to achieve a goal that is maybe breaking a bad habit or becoming more aware. A lot of my goals, believe it or not, don't really require time. It's probably a good thing because I don't have any more time to give based off of all of my active roles, right? For me, the price that I have to pay is just paying attention. If I have a bad habit, or I get triggered, or my buttons get pushed, or maybe I don't always show up in this world and with others the way I desire, that really doesn't require my time. It doesn't require money. It just requires me paying attention and being aware and observant of who I am and how I'm showing up. So really identify what your goals are. If I have goals that require my time, let's say organization, getting my house organized. Maybe one of your goals is to sell your home this year, and you have to get that home ready. Well, guess what? That's going to require a few things. It's definitely going to require some time. It may even require some money. So it's one thing to look at your goals. It's another thing to look at what do I have to give up, or at what expense do I get to my goals. Sometimes my clients are discouraged at the end of the session when we work on this because they have all these big, hairy, audacious goals and they don't have enough time to achieve them. If weight loss is your goal, what do you have to give up? At what expense? Because if you're going to exercise more, that's going to require time, or maybe you're just starting exercising, which is going to require time. What are you going to say no to? Because we only have so many hours in a day, and that's another thing my clients often don't know. When I propose the question, how many hours are we working with in a given day? They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, if you take the time you get up till the time you go to bed, how many hours are we working with? Okay, let's deduct some hours. Oh, you work? Oh, you commute? Okay, let's deduct 9 hours. Maybe 10. Okay, so this is what you're left with and this is what you want to achieve. Maybe you want to clean up your diet in 2022. I love it. Who wouldn't, right? It's a great goal to have, but do you understand that cleaning up your diet means saying no to packaged foods? That convenient food that you were eating leading up to the new year, you no longer get to say yes to that. Now your meal planning, meal prepping, and your grocery shopping may get a little bit more taxing. Understand what that's going to require from you, time and probably money. I think you're getting where I'm going with this because it is the missing link. You have to know your capacity. I know my capacity. There's not much left after all of my active roles. Would make complete sense that there wouldn't be. So if all of a sudden something sprung up that now may be a new active role for me, let's say I did have an elderly parent who needed care, I have to look at my capacity and say, okay, if I'm going to be that caretaker, something else has to go because there's only so many hours in a given day, in a given week, in a given month that I have to work with. When we say yes to one thing, we have to say no to something else. So it's always a constant yes and no, and that's what happens with our goals. So get out on paper today your active roles, and then also what your goals are. And I'm not just talking about physical goals. I have goals in every area, from the outer shell to the inside. But I know if there's a goal that requires my time, so let's say home. There's a lot of things I'd like to do to my home as well. I have to be realistic. I don't have the time to do this. Okay, so maybe it's gonna cost me money, right? There's always a price to pay for getting to our goals. If you're not achieving your goals, if you haven't in the past, it's because you haven't been willing to pay the price, which could be time, money, sleep, whatever. So what am I willing to give up to achieve my goals with all of my active roles, right? It's easy breezy, but people miss that part. So basically, I just took you through a coaching session today. If you want more, you know where to find me. Head to the Hensel Coaching and Consulting website. I would love to work with you in 2022 to achieve your goals, to find your blind spots. The team of coaches are all there to help in this area, and stay tuned. Coming up towards the end of January, Coach Christine is hosting her annual, once a year, vision board workshop. She'll help you get a better vision of what your goals look like, and she has an exercise that she does with you. And then in February, I'm going to circle back, and we're going to look at your life blueprint. We're going to assess where you're at in February with those 2022 goals. I thought about doing this at the beginning of the year, but I thought, no, everyone's achieving goals the first 2-3 weeks. Everyone's spot on. I'm over my life. I've got this big, hairy, audacious New Year's resolution. Well, let's see what happens come February, because that's when I'm going to show up in your life. And I'm going to have a workshop for you. And we'll see where you're at, because it's not about 2022, it's about the rest of your life. The choices you make today will affect you in 10 years in many ways: health, finances, your relationships. You also have to do this for career. If you're a career person like I am, wow, that's a whole new set of goals with all these active roles. What requires my time? What requires money? All right, so this is a great exercise. This will be my last video that you'll see before Christmas, so wishing you the very merriest Christmas with all of your loved ones. Hopefully you have some downtime this week and next week, and you can take some time to do this exercise and prepare for whatever those 2022 goals are. Also, if you've done a weight loss goal every single year and it hasn't worked for you, love to help you find out why. There's a reason for that. Don't want to limit you. Doesn't mean you can't do it this year. But when are you falling off the wagon? Maybe it requires something you're not willing to say no to, because believe it or not, that's what's required. All right, much love. Merry Christmas to all of you. I will see you next week here on YouTube. I'll be on Instagram stories. Be sure to check that out. Also, don't forget to sign up for Coach Christine's Vision Board Workshop. There will be a link in the description box below today's video where you can get more information and get signed up for that. That was a really great workshop last year, a lot of great feedback. That's why we decided to bring it back to you this year, so I encourage you to take advantage of that. All right, we'll see you next week on YouTube. Be checking out my Instagram stories. I am expanding off of this almost daily to help prepare all of you. So, all right, we'll see you soon. Take care.